Hi, I'm Mitto, and I want to talk about the game That Dragon Cancer. With the rise of less interactive, more style-driven games over the past few years, many people have taken to complaining that certain things that are created and marketed as games aren't actually what they consider games at all. The most recent of these that's been stirring up this controversy is called That Dragon Cancer. From here on in, I'm going to refer to it as a game, primarily because I think it is, but also for lack of a better term. Firstly, and just quickly, my personal thoughts on defining a game. I think that there should be basically just a focus on interactivity. If the piece allows you to interact with it and as a result you receive a unique experience of that piece, then I'd happily consider that a game. I do think it's a bit of a spectrum. I think on one side you can have games that could be almost film or another piece of art because of the lack of interactivity in them, but on the other side you can obviously have games that are hugely interactive and can only be considered a game. And I think everything kind of falls into the in-between there. As a result, defining That Dragon Cancer is actually a little bit difficult for me. The purpose of this game is to experience having a child who suffers and eventually dies from cancer. Not witness it, but experience it. Ryan and Amy Green want you to feel the total lack of control that they felt when raising their son Joel and helping him through his illness. The interactive parts of this game are mostly all insignificant. In fact, you could almost say that they are purposefully uninteractive. It's pushing Joel on a swing or blowing bubbles for him. Even the more significant moments, such as trying to stop Joel from crying and calm him down and ease his pain, your actions often make no difference whatsoever. You have no control in what the game is doing or how the story unfolds. You kind of just have to watch it happen. There was also moments in the game where I was unsure of what to do. I was doing all the things that the game was telling me to do, pressing everything on screen, but it wasn't progressing like it should have, like how I've been taught that games act. It wasn't until I stopped that the game continued on. The game forces you to be still and accept what's happening and accept that you're not in control. Interactivity is used to have the player experience the same helplessness that Ryan and Amy felt, and that's why That Dragon Cancer can only work as a game. In a video by Satchbags Goods, he describes the game as an art gallery, and I think that's really apt. When you walk through an art gallery or a museum, you get to encounter these people who made these works of art and understand a little bit more about the world that they existed in. When you walk through the digital world of That Dragon Cancer, you not only find remnants of Joel and Amy and Ryan in that time of their life, memories, voicemail messages, journal entries and letters, but you also come across stories of other people in similar situations. They're all small scenes of lives that I can't even imagine, and it's all been curated by the developers rather than created. The question of, is this a game or art, seems a bit redundant to me. 5 to 10 years ago, the question we were asking was, are video games art? It's still a question that's floating around today, but the general consensus among gamers is that yeah, it is. It involves many of the same aspects, and you can receive just as much from a film or a book or a piece of art on a wall than you can a video game as well. But when games like Dear Esther and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter came along, people stopped asking, are video games art, and started asking, is this a game or is it art? If we had already claimed video games as an art form, then I don't see why it can't be both. When you see an art house film that may have very little story or dialogue or action or drama or anything, we don't ask, is what I just watched a film or was it a piece of art? We can accept that films can be just movies, but also understand that they can also be a piece of art. And the same goes for books and music and theatre and everything. But for some reason, the jury's still out on games. That's all I really have to say. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in a few weeks.